Hi, everyone. My name is Shakira. This is the Love and Money Podcast. So, I'm going to talk to you today about what's going on in Russia and how that may affect your finances. So, what is currently going on is the idea of putting an embargo on Russia's crude oil. So, what is an embargo? An embargo is a government order to restrict commerce movement or exchange of goods. So, normally, Russia has oil. They are a very large exporter of oil. Um, and so a lot of people depend on Russia to get their oil. So, say, for example, you have oil that is getting ready to go out. And so, normally, this oil would be transported here in the United States. And now we have oil. So, that's a normal process. You put an embargo on it. This oil is trying to go over to the United States. Nope, you're not coming over here to the United States. So it stays here. That's an embargo. It's a government order to restrict it from being transported. So this idea of an embargo on Russia's crude oil is happening right now. As you know, 2 million people have fled Ukraine, primarily women and children. And some of the men are staying behind to fight for the country. Um, some people, as you know, when something goes down, they're getting out of there. And then you have this other spirit of people that says, this is my country. I'm not going nowhere. So there are the people that fled. There are some people that stand there to fight, the reason being to fight for their country. And then there are other people that are staying there because they don't have the resources to leave. So that should be one lesson to you why money is important. When things go down, will you have the money to pick up and go if you want to go? Or are you going to have to stay there because you don't have the resources? So that's one lesson on why money is important. If you're anything like me, I used to didn't care about money. Money wasn't important to me at all. So here is one lesson. There are a multitude of lessons that will show you why money is important. And this is one of them. Money has to be important to you for you to have it. If money is not important to you, then the money is looking at you like, you don't think I'm important? I don't think you're important either. So money has to be important to you for you to have it. That's one lesson. They're there because they don't have the resources to leave. That's a segment of the population. So back to this embargo, this idea of putting an embargo on Russia so that crude oil will no longer be um, transported over to the United States. So that is the idea going down in the attempt to shut down the war. So what the United States is doing is they are reaching out to other countries that they don't have an alliance with, that were considered foes, that are considered foes actually. So they are reaching out to the country of Iran for crude oil, and they are reaching out to Venezuela for crude oil. And these two places are known as foes to the United States. It's a long history behind it. So Iran and Venezuela, that's who the United States is reaching out to for oil. And they are also reaching out to Saudi Arabia for oil. So the plan is to block the export of oil from Russia and then to reach out to these other countries that were considered foes for oil. So we will see how that works out. Iran, Venezuela, considered foes, and then also reaching out to Saudi Arabia for oil. So as a result of this war, there was a Dow correction. As you can see, the stock market has been doing terribly. Stock market is affected by war. Um, but as you know, if you are a long-term investor, that you would keep your money in the stock market and eventually it will go back up. So oil, how this change, this embargo may and will affect you is, as you know, if we don't have enough of something, the price will go sky high. So having a small amount of something increases the demand, so the price goes sky high. So that is the effect of the war. You already seen that gas prices are over $4. So if and when an embargo is put in place, that will mean a limited supply, which will mean a higher demand, which will mean higher gas prices that we're already seeing right now, that it would go even higher. So that is the effect. Um, if things work out as far as getting oil from these other places, then that would simmer down the spike in the gas prices. So, like I said, U.S. is reaching out to Venezuela, Iran, Saudi Arabia. So Russia, it has a whole lot of oil. It's like a natural supply over there is oil. Also Iran, it has a whole lot of oil. It's a natural supply over there. And China actually gets a lot of their oil from Iran. So Europe, it heavily relies on Russia for its energy. So Russia, it has a lot of supplies, and that is one of the main supplies that it has. The oil, the crude oil, otherwise known as energy, because you need these things in order for your appliances to run. So um, the bottom line is that there is hope that the United States would, instead of looking for oil supplies from all of these different countries, that the United States would get itself together and figure out how to supply its own self with oil instead of depending on all these places. So to make it more reliable as far as having secure energy supplies. So there are some thoughts around that, how the United States could become more sufficient instead of depending on other countries for its oil supplies. So that is what is going down as far as the war with Russia and Ukraine. And so now I'm going to talk about the war that's going on here in the United States that has no media attention whatsoever. You know about the crime in Chicago, people getting killed every day, people minding their own business, getting killed, innocent people getting killed. So that is one crime that does not have enough media attention. Um, and then, so there is another crime that I would like for you to know about, and that is it's here in the United States, but it's also in several other countries. And the media has so much power that people only pay attention to what is going on in the media. But this is not in the media. And so I would like for you to know about it. And it's called the Organized Contract Stalking Program. It's here in the United States, but it's also in different countries. It's in Japan. It's It's over the continent of Africa, and it's called the Organized Contract Stalking Program. It's in more places than just the United States. And what the organized contract stalking is, it is the government, they hire people to stalk you. And so what happens is these stalkers, they they're hired to stalk you. It's a 24-hour surveillance program. And so the stalkers are with you everywhere that you go. They are with you at church. They're with you when you go to Walgreens. They're with you at your job. They're with you at the gas station when you fill up your tank for gas. They're with you at any event that you go to. And the purpose of this organized contract stalking program is emotional turmoil. Some people end up committing suicide, and that's what they want to get out of this program. They want you to either commit suicide, they want you to end up in prison because you fight back, or they want you to end up in a mental institution because you told somebody and they didn't believe you. So basically, the works of the enemy to kill, steal, and destroy. They would also like to see you devastated financially. So it's called the Organized Contract Stalking Program. And another component of this program is called the Electronic Torture Program. It's right here in the United States. What the government does is they hire your neighbors to use lasers, wicked laser. You can look it up. These are very high powered lasers. They go through windows, they go through walls. And the purpose of these lasers is to burn your skin, to leave laser burns on your skin, to leave lacerations on your skin. Some people are being kept up all night. So if you can imagine someone laying in their bed, minding their own business, and being hit with these lasers that are invisible to the eye and keeping you up all night, actually waiting until it's time for you to go to sleep to keep you up all night. And so that you are functioning on no sleep. That is the purpose, that you would function, that you would have no sleep, and that this would go on day in, day out, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So not only the lasers, but there are military weapons being used on innocent people. Military weapons, there is what is called a satellite. Now, you may be familiar with the satellite as far as your cell phone goes. Say your cell phone. You get in your cell phone, you get on GPS to figure out how to get from one location to another location. Now, how are you getting from one location to another location? This is satellite technology. And so there is a way that satellites can be used. They hover over the roof of your house and they target you also with these weapons. So I just want you to not only know about what is going on in Russia and Ukraine, I want you to know about what is going on right here in the United States. So this is the Love and Money podcast with Shakira. If you like this podcast, please share it with one other person. Please hit the like button on your way out, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment. I would like to know what it is that you want to see. Do you want to see the news? What's going on in the news? Do you want to hear about celebrities? I'm not going to talk about celebrities, but I want you to know. I want to know what you want. What do you want to hear? Do you want the latest news? Do you want to hear about celebrities? Or do you want to know how to actually make money? So put your thoughts in the comments. So this is the Love and Money podcast, and I appreciate you listening and watching. So have a good rest of the day.